So we're gearing up for Christmas here, like you guys already know, and we're going to start making our main dish, which we're doing duck. I know Christmas goose is a big thing, and used to be anyway, and now people have turkeys and hams and sometimes roast, but we're going to do duck. So the way we're going to do this, and I know people think duck is too greasy, and a lot of times the problem is you can't have the duck down in the grease when it cooks because the meat will draw that grease back up. So we're going to take this baking dish that we have rubbed well, you could use butter, but we actually use bacon grease. But it's rubbed well with bacon grease, and we've got a layer of potatoes and some onions and garlic, and we're going to do one more layer because as this cooks, these are going to reduce in size, and we do not want the duck to be laying down in the grease. But this will give us some awesome potatoes that have been fried in basically duck grease. So we're just going to layer our potatoes in here.
So it serves two purposes, really.
Yes.
It acts like a trivet to elevate the meat out of the bottom of the pan and gives us some amazing vegetables as a side.
Oh yeah, we don't have to worry. We can make mashed potatoes, which I don't know if we're going to or not, but we can make mashed potatoes, or we can just eat these potatoes instead. You know, you've already got your starch. But we're going to do a couple other side dishes, and I think we're going to bring this to you in two separate segments because, let's face it, if we tried to put this all in one video, it'd be really overwhelming.
Yes. This whole Christmas meal will be featured in a two-part episode. So it won't be so time-consuming to watch the whole thing at once.
And I have not had a duck in a long time, especially not for Christmas. Probably had a goose before I had a duck the last time. And goose is good too.
Oh, goose is fabulous.
Definitely. And we don't have a pan here big enough to fit a whole goose in anyway. So I went ahead and I put our potatoes on there, and I'm going to give them a little pepper. You can always add some more later if you want. A little pepper and some sea salt. We got sea salt in our shaker here. And then I'm going to put in I actually just sliced it, garlic. I don't have a thing to crush it with here, but I think this will work better anyway because it's easier to distribute in there. And anybody who's ever had roasted garlic knows that this is just going to turn out, the garlic taste is going to be phenomenal. And then we have an onion, and this onion is pretty strong. It's not a sweet onion. It's a regular onion like you buy in those 3-pound bags of yellow onions. And it is strong. So the way I judge how much onion I need for something is when I peel it and I cut it, I smell it, and if it smells strong and it makes your eyes like burn and start to water, you start to cry, that's a pretty strong onion. So you don't want as much of that in there as if it is a mild onion. And sometimes even in those 3-pound bags, the onions are mild. They're not real strong. But I think that's enough. Now we're going to use some of this that's over here in our duck as well. Before I touch that duck, then I got to touch that. We're trying not, you got to worry about with
cross-contamination.
Yeah, exactly. Let's slide this over here. This here for right now. I'm going to salt this, and I'm going to be pretty liberal with the amount of salt that I put on here. And we're going to do both sides, but I'm only going to do one at a time. And we're going to put some black pepper on here. We are working with limited tools here in the cabin. We did bring along some things that we thought we were going to need, but we couldn't bring the whole kitchen along, let's face it. So, and we're not cooking this in this roaster. I'm actually just doing this in here. This is the breast side is up right now, and we're going to turn it on top of this pan.
Wonderful. Yes. Potatoes and onions.
And we're going to turn it breast side down, and we're going to swap that in between in the cooking time. So I think that's enough pepper. And I've got this. I saw this, and take a picture of that, Gina.
Oh, here, let me zoom in on that.
I don't know if we can find this up our way, but I tasted some of it, and it tastes really
The
good.
citrus blend.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be really good for poultry and fowl, so we're about to find out.
So we're going to put some of this on here. It's got a lot of orange in it. It has a strong citrus flavor, and I know, that's supposed to be good on duck. So we're going to sprinkle some of this on here.
From everything we know and have read, it says to not chinch on your salt as well, which is why you were liberal with it.
And this has not just citrus, but I can smell garlic and onion and other
smells wonderful
in there. It smells really, really good. It kind of reminds me of Grill Masters, McCormick Grill Masters. They made little spice, not necessarily rubs, but spices, and one of them was Belgian wheat, citrus wheat or something. It said like Blue Moon on it. This smells a lot like it.
Yeah, I get that.
And that is excellent on chicken and fish. So we're going to take this. I will need a wash rag to wipe my hands off with. We're going to take this, and since we're going to start to roast this breast side down, hold on one second. We're going to grab him here by his legs and his hands. Oh, and I got him draining on paper towels, but he's sticking a little.
I was going to help you, but it looks like you got it.
We're going to grab him, and we are going to turn him breast side down.
Face down.
Just like that. Now, I don't know if I can twist his arms back around him like you do with the turkey, just to get him kind of out of there. I don't know if he'll stay that way. He's probably not going to stay that way.
Doesn't look like it.
We're just going to put him in here like this. Just like he just fell down and buried his head and said,
I'm done.
I'm done. It's Christmas. And yep, you're going to eat me anyway. So we're just going to leave him lay there like that. And he'd be all right. Now, in his cavity, we already took the neck and the giblets out. The heart, the liver, the gizzard, they're already out. And I forgot to show you, I'm sure you saw, we scored the skin on the breast. Because later on, that's going to come up to the top side. It lets the fat cook out, and it goes down into our potatoes and onions. And then when we turn it up, and that's the side on the top, that's going to brown. But it lets those slits let that fat cook out of the skin. So we're going to take some onions, and we're going to shove some quartered onions and just some, we call them toes of garlic. I think we already talked about that. Toes of garlic inside
Some
here.
call them cloves, some call them toes.
And I actually cut these in half just to make it easier. And we're going to just shove those in here. Just so it helps season the meat from the inside out. I prefer to shove them down the neck, but you can certainly go in from the other end if you wanted to. But I always end up going in from the neck end, and then I can hold the bottom end shut. Okay. So we got all of that stuffed in there, and that's all I'm going to put in there. You could put other things in there. You could certainly take some slices of fresh orange if you wanted a little more orange flavor. You could put some apples in there. Whatever you would want to put inside of there, whatever flavor you want to give the meat, you can certainly shove in there. Some celery would be good, but we weren't lucky enough to find any celery. So I'm gonna salt this back side of this bird liberally as well. And you have to remember the salt that we're putting on the bird isn't only going in the bird, but it's also going to go in the potatoes that are underneath.
And potatoes like a lot of salt as well.
And then we're going to give it some more pepper. And we are not going to rub this with any oil because duck has a lot of fat on it. So we don't need to add any. And I have a feeling those potatoes cooked in the duck fat are going to be awesome.
I'm sure they are going to be.
So we're just going to give it a little sprinkle of this on the backside. And we're going to take this and we're going to put it in the oven at about 375 degrees. Now our bird is almost 7 pounds. So it's going to take I would say every bit of 3 hours, if not a little better, to get him done. But while he's cooking, we're going to show you some other sides we're working on. Okay, we're going to make some cranberry sauce. And I have in this bowl 1/4 cup of water, 1/4 cup of fresh squeezed orange juice, and the zest of 1 orange. I'm going to dump this in here. And yes, I did turn my burner on, but it's going to take a while. You know why? Because it's electric. And we are going to add 3/8 of a cup of sugar plus 1 tablespoon. I have cut this recipe down in half because it's only Gino and me. So if you're going to want to make this for a whole family, then you would have to double it. We'll put that in there. I'm going to stir this. And we're going to get this melted, and then we're going to bring it to a boil. And then we're going to put our cranberries in there. And we're going to cook them. And we're just going to make cranberry orange relish. Better than the stuff in a can, I guarantee ya. Oh, I also put just a tiny pinch of salt in here. Okay, so we're boiling. This is our water and our sugar and our orange juice and our orange zest. And you can add the orange zest later, but I just put it in now. Now we're going to add a 1/2 bag of cranberries. If you're going to do a full batch, of course it would be a whole bag. Escape. He's getting away. Where'd he go? Come here, you little feller. There he is. Now we're going to put these in here, and we're going to bring these back to a boil, and then we're going to simmer them for, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. And you should hear them pop as they're cooking. Most of them will pop open. They might not also. You might need to mash it just a little bit. But that's about all we're doing with this. So this is pretty easy peasy.
Okay, this seems to be a big thing on Facebook this Thanksgiving, okay? I will say, I do enjoy, and I always have enjoyed, the cranberry jellied sauce. Because we had that growing up a lot.
Grandma has a special green dish she used to dump it out in.
However, as much as I do enjoy eating that, I will say that real cranberry sauce blows it away.
And it's way better than what you buy in a can, especially if you add the orange juice and the orange zest. It's really worth a try. Whoo, baby! There's the cranberry sauce. Get a shot of that, Gina.
Oh, yeah.
There's the cranberry sauce. Look at that. Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
It is amazing.
Oh, it smells so good.